push button. Oh, that sounds nice. Oh, there's a little bee that comes in the middle. Okay, that's hilarious to me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just a dad. Look, son, there's a bee in the dash. What's up, you guys? Today we're in a 2016 Scat Pack 392 Challenger. In other words, it's an upgraded RT Challenger for the most part. It has 485 horsepower, naturally aspirated, and 475 foot-pounds of torque. Look how vicious this is from a dead stop. Like, just, ah! I see why, like, every time I see a Challenger in my Mustang, they just try to instigate because it's just so rowdy. Funny thing about the Challenger is that this car is now almost 10 years old, which I can't believe. I remember when it first came out and competed against the Mustang Bullet, you know, the Steve McQueen inspired Mustang. Since then, the car has become so much better. They ditched the 5.7, and they also have great other cars with the Challenger platform, like the Hellcat and the Demon, which is coming up, and that car I hope does not kill people. But I've actually never reviewed a Challenger, so this is the very first one, and I think we started with a good base. So if you don't want a Hellcat, the Scat Pack is definitely the one to go with. Why is that? You have almost 500 horsepower, which is more than enough, and you get the big brakes all the way around. That's a huge benefit. You also get the crazy hood scoop in the front, which I really like. There's just something about it when you're driving around and it's there. It reminds you of like the old Challenger, and out of the three muscle cars of today, this one feels like the most old school. It looks the most old school, and you feel like a boss when you're driving it around. It's great. It's definitely a looker. Mopar especially focuses on color a lot. If you go to an event like Caffeine and Octane in Atlanta, it's just like Skittles all the way down the road. They have lime green and bright red and orange and purple. I love the purple ones. The owner of this car, Eddie, also wanted the purple one, but he couldn't find it, so he's stuck with the red. Eddie has actually been all over the car spectrum when it comes to owning cars, and this is probably the flashiest car he's ever owned. He had a Grand Prix with an LS4 engine in it that was turbocharged in open diff. It's suicide, but he eventually had that, then he had a Subaru WRX, and then he finally went to this. And when it comes to bang for your buck power, it doesn't really get better than this. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the elephant of the Challenger. It's a heavy car, with no doubt about it, and that's a lot of people's argument with the Hellcat. Why would you buy the Hellcat with 700 horsepower when it weighs, you know, 500 pounds more than, say, a Mustang or a Camaro? And I might have gotten that wrong, but you get my picture. It's a much heavier car. But the thing is I think it's more just for the overall package, because think about it, if you get a Hellcat, 700 horsepower with a warranty. Scat Pack, almost 500 horsepower with a warranty. And another great thing is the exhaust on this is bone stock. And it sounds like a really nice aftermarket exhaust. They have baffles in this system, so a lot of people will take out kind of the mid muffler system or the resonators and then just go from there. But honestly, when you're cruising around, no drone, no anything, it's fantastic. Out of the three muscle cars, this is definitely more of the cruiser, and it's much more comfortable than the other ones. You have nice gauges, navigation, an Alpine stereo system. Believe it or not, the Alpine is even the best stereo system to come with the cars. You can, I think, get a Bose or something above that, but Alpine's good enough if you don't want to pay extra money. Plus, you're here to listen to a giant freaking Hemi motor, not the stereo anyway. God, that sounds good. I can't believe that stock exhaust. It's amazing. Here's the thing though, I'm in fourth and I still have 4 more gears to go. Here, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an 8-speed automatic in this big freaking car, and it's so fascinating knowing that when I get on it, it's gonna go and shift, and again, and again. And it's funny how we're starting to really, in reality, get to those Fast and Furious transmissions now, because there's so many gears in a car. It's amazing. Hardly any delay in the paddles. That's the one thing about when you get a car with an auto transmission and it wasn't designed to be a paddle car overall. Oh yeah. overall, what's great about this one is it doesn't feel like it was just tacked on. A lot of companies just throw on the paddle shifters to say, but look, you know, we don't have a stick, but you know, we have a manual mode. So when you're cruising on the highway, you can also see your track apps. And on the track apps on the dash, it has launch control, performance, how much horsepower you're even using, how much torque you're using, oil temps, all that good stuff. You take it out of sport mode and cruise on the highway with this transmission, you can get up to 32 miles a gallon in a 6.4 liter V8. That is ridiculous. So when it comes to how big the Challenger is, I see the #1 challenge, oh my God. Say the #1 challenge of the Challenger is your distance in the nose. Like when you park or things like that. If I was in a parking garage, like a tight parking garage, I'd be scared that I would like nick pillars and stuff like that because it's such a long car. Also, with how good this car looks, and he gets challenged by everybody. Like when he's cruising around, everybody tries to, I said challenge again. God dang it. Everyone tries to take on Chris compared to all his other cars. And it's just funny to me how when you buy something a little more flashy, people just love to see what it can do, even if it means if he can beat them or not. Like this is 4th. What? If you notice, like I'm first gear and just that's awesome. But I'm never like crazy scared or like crazy adrenaline rush. There's nothing like that. It's just, I'm gonna go fast right now, and you do it and you're done. You know, I think this is the perfect car for somebody who wants that equal medium, that wants a good looking muscle car, but they don't want to be thrashed around all the time. I understand that. The Challenger is by far the most chill muscle car there is. It's such a weird analogy. I'm just like, out of the 3, it's like, this is the hippie. Like he's just chilling. He's like, yeah, I mean, I got some horsepower, but you know, it's whatever, man. So Eddie and myself have one complaint about the Challenger. And it's not like the interior, it's not the horsepower, it's not the brakes, it's the tire size. You have 485 horsepower and you have a 245 on the back on a performance pack Challenger. Like it's not like it's the normal RT or the normal V6 even. It's 245. I just think that's kind of strange. There's this area of the steering where you feel it engage. So you barely get in it and it starts to kind of turn in, but then the weight kicks in. So then you have to turn in more and then it bites. So it's a weird kind of style of driving for sure. The dash, I have to say, in the interior, in the Scat Pack, is pretty nice. I've driven a normal rental car Charger before and I was pretty disappointed, obviously. But in here, the materials are much nicer, the gauges are nicer. With this being a big Bertha, you'd think it couldn't handle at all. And on a track, I'm sure you would really feel the weight. But on the daily roads, you're gonna get body roll no matter what. You can't hide weight, there's no way around it. And especially in a modern car with all the luxuries and everything. But it does have Bilstein suspension, so that's pretty hard to argue with, especially with these big brakes all the way around. That's amazing to me. One thing I did notice is like, there's so much torque in this car, but it's almost like laughable because when I was at the stoplight earlier today, it turned green and I big toed it like freaking SpongeBob and the whole car just went and just yelled at me and just started going. So I was that guy and almost spun tires at a light by accident. So it's so instantaneous with this 6'4" Hemi. It's awesome. And it feels like an old school crazy muscle car because I downshift it and go. And it's awesome. Has like a little whoa, push. Oh man, the weight, I can feel it so much. Around that bend, I felt the nose go, nope, I don't want to go that way. I didn't necessarily have understeer, but it was like, you have to push it a lot harder through the corners than say a Mustang or Camaro, for sure. I was in the throttle, not all the way in it, barely turned in, and it was just like, nah, I'm not feeling it. Did handle this one bump back there very well. Like I was moving pretty good. You might have seen me go like this a little bit, and we almost caught air. For stock exhaust, it makes a really good noise, and when I hit the paddle, it does a little burble, and I never expected that from a Challenger. It kind of reminds me of like a DSG or something in an Audi. And I know that sounds crazy to say, but you get the little kind of fart every time you're shifting. It goes whoop, whoop. Let's talk about like kind of the ergonomics when it comes to not just the interior, but your visibility. The windows on the outside look very small, but when you're in the car, you see everything. I'm actually really surprised. That's not like the first gen like 2010 Camaro when you're just like, for dear life, you can't see anything. I know the modern Camaros still have a little bit of visibility issues, but overall, mirror, look in the back, look forward. I never feel claustrophobic. I never feel trapped. It's not like a Viper or anything. You know, Dodge Viper, you get that tight windshield and everything. Challenger also has blind spot assistance. So if it is right next to you, it does have a yellow triangle pop up to let you know that there's somebody there. So overall visibility of the Challenger, great, except when somebody's like right next to you. That's the only time. I will say though, why does this back seat is not really a thing. You could fit a child back there, but you couldn't fit like me, and I'm average height. Will say, with how big this car is, to back it up, I'm so thankful that it has a rear view camera that's built into the spoiler. You have to really look at it, and it's dead center. Although at that, the taillights of the newer Challenger look so much more badass than the old ones. The old ones had that retro just straight bar, which was cool at first, and then I was just like, okay, I'm over it. All right, you guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this quick little review video of the Scat Pack Challenger. I had a great time driving it. Huge thanks to Eddie for letting me. What do you guys think about the Scat Pack? Do you think you should just save up and get a Hellcat, or is this good enough? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a fantastic day. Woo!